In this video, we're going to look at how to complete the I-9 form. The I-9 form is very important because it allows your employer to pay you. Its purpose is to establish your identity and make sure you are allowed to work in the United States. If you have more questions on how to complete the form, you can email Dr. Foster at rfoster@specialedcoop.org. To begin, you're going to need your Social Security number as well as a copy of the I-9 form. If you do not have an I-9 form or lost your copy, you can always go to Google, type in I-9 form, scroll down to where you see Form I-9 here, click on it, and a form looking just like this should pop up. And now we're going to pull this up and begin filling it out. First, we're going to look at Section 1. It reads Employee Information and Attestation. You're going to fill in your last name, your first given name, so it cannot be a nickname, it needs to be your first legal name, your middle initial, your street address, apartment number if applicable, your city, which is Washington, the state, which is DC, your zip code, date of birth, making sure to fill out the correct format of the month, the date, and the 4-digit year. Fill in your Social Security number, followed by your email address, and then your telephone number. When it's all complete, it should look something like this. Once you have everything filled out, we can move on to the next section. So if we move down, you will see 4 check boxes on the left-hand side. Check off that you are a U.S. citizen, and if you're not a U.S. citizen, check off the appropriate box for you. And then you're going to see this section down here that says Signature of Employee. Here, be sure to sign your name and fill out today's correct date. So sign your name here and fill out the correct date. And after you've completed that, you are done with the filling out of the I-9 form, and we can move on to the next section. So we are going to scroll all the way down to the very last page where it says List of Acceptable Documents. So from here, you need to provide one item from List A, which could be a clear and readable passport. So if you have a clear and readable passport, you do not need anything from List B or List C. You just need that one item. If you do not have a passport, then you must provide 2 items, one from List B and one from List C. So if you do not have one from List A, you need one from both List B and List C. A form of identification from List B could be your school ID card with a photograph or a driver's license. A form of identification from List C could be your Social Security card, and you need to make sure that it's a photocopy of the card, not just the number, or an original certified birth certificate. So you need to have some combination from List B and List C. So you don't need both your driver's license and your school ID. You just need to have one of those items, and you need to have one from List C. After you've made sure that you have those items, we can review everything that we need. So you need to have a completed I-9 form, and you must turn that in to the appropriate person. And you need to make sure that you have your copies of documentation from either List A or documentation from List B and List C. So make sure that you have the completed I-9 form as well as the copies. If any part of this form is incomplete, you will not be able to get paid. So it's very important that you go back and review each section of the I-9 form and make sure that you filled it out correctly and you filled it out completely. Once you have all of this completed, you have officially finished the I-9 form.